30 SGR double-deck coaches arrive. Funds for Pemba Airport expansion and upgrade secured. Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live here on our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBC Online. 6 of the 30 standard gauge railway passenger wagons bought by the Tanzanian government from Germany have arrived in the country. The double-deck wagons have started to be unloaded today at the port of Dar es Salaam. The Director General of the Tanzania Railway Corporation, TRC, Masanja Gadogosa, says the carriages are capable of carrying 140 passengers for the third class and 123 passengers for the second class. Another 24 carriages are expected to arrive in the country at different stages starting from next month. Last week, the chief government spokesperson, Gerson Msigwa, said the wagons and locomotives have been delayed due to the challenges of obtaining some of the spare parts. In other news, the president of Zanzibar and the chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, says his government appreciates cooperation with various development stakeholders, including United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. He made the remark at the State House in Zanzibar when he met and held talks with the UNICEF resident representative in Tanzania, Shalini Bahuguna, who visited him to bid farewell after finishing her period of service. Lidua Mohammed has more details.
President of Zanzibar and chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, is delighted with the work implemented by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in Tanzania, which includes various development projects related to the welfare of children in the country.
And we want to keep going, make the achievements sustainable. So I take this opportunity to sincerely, I don't even want to mention the areas because there are just too many. There are just too many, and let it suffice to say that we really appreciate the support, and thanks to your team as well. And I hope your successor will be working with us the way you have been working.
On the other hand, the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF representative Shalini Bahuguna congratulates the President, Dr. Mwinyi, for his leadership, especially in managing well natural resources in Zanzibar.
The work you've done with your team has been amazing. Whether we look at education or health, money is everything. You have really put in resources where they are needed. You have prioritized Pemba across all social sectors, and it's beginning to show. So we were just talking about education reforms. So you're grappling with the hard things while reducing the number of out-of-school children. You know, there are about 70% kids who are out of school are now back in school. And for the 30%, the system continues to work. When we met, we said it has to be all about systems. And that's the approach that's been taken.
Furthermore, she praises Dr. Mwinyi for being an exemplary leader, especially by fostering development of Pemba Island and by leading major reforms in the health and education sector in Zanzibar.
Against burn rate, but also against results achieved with the resources. And I think that, you know, given that the largest resources are going to be those provided by the state, I think that's the biggest investment in children. So I hope that that budget monitoring unit, which is firmly in Ministry of Finance, to my successor, I will note that this really is at the heart of achieving results, both for your national plan, you know, your vision, and also for the SDGs.
The Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, thanks the United Kingdom Export Credit Agency, UK Export Finance UKF, for completing the process of providing funds for the construction of several development projects in Tanzania, including the expansion and upgrade of Pemba Airport and road constructions in the islands. Apasia Ringo has more.
Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba made the acknowledgement in Dodoma when he met and held talks with the Executive Director of UK Export Finance UKF, who is in the country on a business visit. He insists that the projects will boost the economic activities in the islands.
It has been a good session where we have talked about the project that have reached the final stages, including the Pemba Airport and the road project. We have talked about big projects that our experts have to be complete at the current speed. We have also talked with the Great Hope about the standard gauge railway project, the water project here in Dodoma, which will end the water problem in region and its district, as well as how to promote the private sector. We believe this discussion will be fruitful, so both teams of experts should do it well so that, if possible, within a short period after signing the completed projects, we can sign another projects.
On the other hand, UK Export Finance CEO Tim Reid reassures Tanzania of financial support for the projects and vows that his government will continue to finance other strategic projects that will be presented by the government, including water and energy. UK Export Finance is the operating name of the Export Credits Guarantee Department, which is the United Kingdom's export credit agency. It has been awarded the Best Global Export Credit Agency in 2019.
37% of one of them is UK content and 40% of the other. So we're doing, I like the way you phrased it, which is doing projects for our mutual benefit. So we're supporting jobs out of the UK. But I think on the number that I've seen on the Three Roads project is that will create 1,200 jobs locally on Zanzibar. So it's creating employment. In addition to which, it's obviously providing, the social benefits of better access and, moving people and goods around, Zanzibar more effectively and more efficiently. So,
UK Export Finance is the operating name of the Export Credits Guarantee Department, which is the United Kingdom's export credit agency. It has been awarded the Best Global Export Credit Agency in 2019.
The Minister for Internal Affairs, Hamad Massaouni, proposes structural and systematic changes to eliminate some of the challenges faced by the police force and prisons in the country. Massaouni was addressing journalists immediately after finishing to give his recommendations to the commission assigned to investigate Tanzania's criminal justice system, identifying bail system application, trial delays, slow investigations, and prison congestions to be the main challenges currently that require review.
There are good things as well as challenges. One of these challenges is lack of investigation and as much as some citizens would like, including delays. Sometimes there have been complaints about the bail system, and others are about the procedures for dealing with prisoners as well as handling of cases. All these have been complaints from the citizens. When this commission comes with its recommendations, it will provide a system that can address these challenges in a systematic and sustainable manner. Also, on the part of the prison army, there have been complaints similar to that, including the army looking at the entire correctional system, which may lead to finding good citizens who will be out of prison so that they can become better citizens.
He adds that the ministry has already started working on some of the issues, although many areas require legal and structural changes. The Executive Director of National Services Economic Wing, SUMA JKT, Colonel Petro Ngata, says JKT is committed to ensure that it increases its economic production to contribute more to economic development and create more employment opportunities for the Tanzanian youth. He insists that as JKT prepares to celebrate 60th anniversary, there is a plan in place to increase the production of industrial and agricultural products. It's a report by Gervas Mwatebela, read to you by Apasia Bringo.
National Service, JKT, was established on July 10th in 1963. Since then, JKT has focused on economic production, defense, and nurturing youth in Tanzania to become responsible and patriotic citizens. As JKT prepares to mark 60th anniversary since its establishment, JKT, through its economic wing, SUMA JKT, commits to expanding the scope of its productive and economic activities.
Eneo la uzalishaji mali tumejipanga.
We have planned to ensure that we produce our product with a great quality, as we have done, but we will add more quality. We have also planned to increase the scope of production so that we can produce more things and eventually generate profit.
Colonel Ngata adds that Suma JKT is delighted with the implementation of various projects and economic activities.
Kujenga taifa kupitia Suma JKT limetekeleza miradi mikubwa.
The National Services through Suma JKT has implemented major strategic projects in this country. We have built Chamwino State House in Dodoma. We have built the Miraran Wall. And the 402 houses of residents who lived in Ngorongoro now have their home in Msomera, Handen, and the Tanga region.
The climax of the celebrations will be on 10th July 2023, and President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan is expected to be the official guest of honor.
The former Tanzanian ambassador to Japan, Ambassador Eli Mtango, has been conferred a decoration of the Order of the Rising Sun, Gold and Silver Star, by the Japanese Emperor Naruhito. Ambassador Mtango is the first Tanzanian to receive the decoration of the order, which is one of the highest honors by Japanese government. Nasser Kingo has more.
Ambassador of Japan to Tanzania, Yasushi Misawa, hosted a ceremony to facilitate the conferment of decoration in an event that was graced by the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mbaruk Nasoro Mbaruk.
I understand that Order of the Rising Sun is one of the highest honor from Japanese ambassador, normally conferred to very few people who have contributed a great deal to the nation and the society. We congratulate His Excellency Ambassador Mtango for his outstanding contribution to the strengthening of the diplomatic and the friendly relations between Tanzania and Japan.
On behalf of the Japanese Emperor, Ambassador Misawa says Ambassador Mtango receives the honor in recognition of his outstanding contribution to strengthen diplomatic relations and mutual understanding between Tanzania and Japan.
He served in Japan for 9 years, very long time, and he also welcomed the very important persons from Tanzania, including President Mkapa, President Kikwete twice, and also he served as Dean of Diplomatic Community of Africa, and he also supported Japan in order to make the international conference, Tokyo International Conference on African Development, very successful ones. His contribution to the strengthening the relationship with Japan is extraordinarily important.
Receiving the decoration of the order, Ambassador Eli Mtango thanks the Japanese government for the recognition and the Tanzanian government for trusting him.
I am extremely grateful for the recognition that I've been honored. I am the first Tanzanian to receive the decoration of the Order of the Rising Sun, Gold and Silver Star. I highly appreciate. I would not have been decorated with this honor if the Tanzanian government and Tanzanians in general would not have trusted me and give me a rare chance to save our nation. As Tanzanian ambassador to Japan from the year 2000 to 2009 to 2009, I thank the government for the support.
That ceremony, which was held in Dar es Salaam, was attended by various retired government officials and ambassadors who congratulate Ambassador Mtango for his outstanding contribution and urge other ambassadors representing Tanzania to challenge themselves even further for the betterment of the nation.
You can be sure that they didn't give this award to Ambassador Mtango by chance. They did their homework. I really should like to encourage all Tanzanians ambassadors, wherever they are, to take this as an incentive for them to do likewise, to do their job well, knowing that once you do your job well, promoting relations, promoting investment and trade, promoting friendship between the people of the two countries, people do notice.
Ambassador Mtango, if I have to describe him, is one of our best. He has been one of our best diplomats, but also a good leader, a good mentor. He has held various positions in the government, and I was privileged to work with him when he was the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation as a personal assistant. I learned a lot, and I'm not shy to say that I am the product. I'm the product of his leadership. I'm the product of his mentorship.
The government has signed a contract worth 349 million Tanzanian shillings with Tan Sheikh, which is an environmental company expected to offer assessments of environmental and social impacts before the purchase of fishing vessels through the Agriculture and Fisheries Development Program. Speaking during the signing ceremony, the Permanent Secretary in the Prime Minister's office in charge of policy, parliamentary affairs and coordination, Dr. Jim Yonazi, says the move will benefit both Zanzibar and Tanzania mainland.
Tunafurahi kwamba tumepata Tan Sheikh kuweza kutusaidia kufanya utafiti huo.
We're happy that Tan Sheikh will be able to conduct the research and tell us the cost. After that, a feasible solution will be needed for the creation of those entities. And the harbour means that there are ships going to be built, 4 for Zanzibar and 5 for Tanzania mainland. This year for facilitation, fishing process. And I believe that when the ships are completed, they will contribute to the economy of the country.
On the other hand, the Tan Sheikh Chief Executive Officer, Lusako Mwanjali, vows to come up with relevant strategies to control environmental impacts while implementing the project timely.
We have warned the standard to conduct an environmental and community assessment for this project that will lead to the purchase of large fishing vessels and fish processing industries. The main goal of our work is to ensure that this project will not have a negative impact on the environment and the community.
Now let's have a look at other stories. The Marine Parks and Reserves Tanzania under the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries says although the sea contributes 80% of the global economy by transporting raw materials and resources, but these activities contribute to the destruction of the environment and the ecology of the sea. The revelation was made by Marine Parks and Reserves Tanzania manager Immaculate Semesi during a preparatory meeting for the celebration of the World Ocean Day, which targets to ensure sustainable management of the world's oceans.
Currently, the state of our water around the world is bad. We have to take urgent measures, and that is why this year, the main goal of having World Ocean Day is to bring together various stakeholders who manage ocean resources, because there is something called 30 by 30. We have agreed with all the countries of the United Nations that by the year 2030, at least 30% of all oceans in the world will be protected.
The islands of Mbudia, Singa and Bongoyo are the special places that have corals. If we talk of other places like Mtwara, there are mangroves in abundance, which means the life of the sea is general in terms of finding these creatures. The sea is a nutritious food source for fish. We ask the people to understand that when we talk about the care of the oceans, it is about the care of natural resources contained in the ocean, which is the economy and the nutrition of the people. And if we use the resource badly, we will lack food in the coming days because we will not harvest individual. But as a nation, we will reach a place where we will not be able to earn any income from the fish resources.
This year, World Ocean Day celebrations will be held in Dar es Salaam on the 8th of June, where the Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, is expected to grace the occasion. Mtwara residents welcome the arrival of specialized medical doctors from Dar es Salaam who are in the region to offer free specialized medical services. Speaking at the Ligula Regional Hospital, where the services will be offered, some of the residents say the services will bring financial relief to those with chronic health problems.
The arrival of these doctors is a great consolation for us because many patients will receive care here, considering that many do not have the ability to receive treatment for these services. We should come here to get these services because we are following the service in Mtwara or Muhimbili. We thank the President for bringing this service closer to us.
On his part, the Ligula Hospital's medical officer in charge, Dr. Robikieki Kisambu, says medical conditions that are expected to be examined include urinary tract diseases for the elderly, bone, eye, ear, nose, kidney and throat diseases. Other diseases are heart diseases, blood pressure and diabetes, which have been troubling the people in the region due to the lack of specialists.
We have moved these services closer as part of improving them and reducing citizens' risk of traveling a long distance to follow professional services. So this exercise will be sustainable as we continue to do as much as we can to find professionals. Also, when the experts come here to this center, they build the capacity of our existing experts so that they can provide expert services that are sustainable. We urge all citizens to come and register early from 12th June to 16th June.
The medical doctors expect to start providing the free specialized medical services at the Mtwara Regional Hospital from June 12th to June 19th this year. In Singida region of Tanzania, an extraordinary community thrives while also preserving an ancient way of life. Meet the Hadzabe people, one of East Africa's last hunter-gatherer tribes. Their existence is tied to the land they call home, adapting to its challenges for generations. Join us as we delve deeper into their captivating story with Kefa Igilo on the ground.
Tanzania, the land of breathtaking beauty and cultural diversity. In the heart of Singida region, a unique community thrives, preserving a way of life that dates back thousands of years. This, the remarkable story of the Hadzabe people. The Hadzabe are one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes in East Africa. Their existence is intimately intertwined with the land they call home, the forests and plains of Singida. For countless generations, they have honed their survival skills, adapting to challenges. The Hadzabe are master craftsmen, skillfully fashioning tools from resources nature provides. The bows and arrows are not only instruments for hunting, but also symbols of their resilience and resourcefulness. Passed down from father to son, this ancient tradition represents the essence of their cultural heritage. The Hadzabe live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. As the first ray of dawn breaks the horizon, they embark on the daily quest for sustenance. Guided by their intimate knowledge of the land, they move with purpose and grace. While hunting provides protein and sustenance, gathering plays an equally important role in the Hadzabe diet. The women, with their intimate knowledge of the edible plants that dot the landscape, gather seasonal fruits, roots, and tubers, adding vital nutrients to their communal meals. The Hadzabe value their rich cultural heritage and celebrate it through music, dance, and storytelling. Their rhythm chant echo through the land, passing down ancestral wisdom from one generation to the next. These gatherings foster a sense of unity and reinforce the collective identity. Kefa Igilo, TBC News.
Thank you very much, Kefa Igilo. Now, before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. Now let's have a look at international news compiled by Ramadhani Mpenda and read to you by Lilua Mohammed.
Some hospitals and health centers in Ghana reported to have shortage of specialist nurses because most of them have left Ghana looking for better paid jobs overseas. The head of nursing at Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Jifti Arie, has said her intensive care unit alone had lost 20 nurses to the UK and US in the last 6 months. She added that the care is affected as they are not able to take any more patients, and seriously ill patients often had to be held for longer in the emergency department due to the nursing shortages. A similar situation also found at Cape Coast Municipal Hospital. The hospital's deputy head of nursing services, Caroline Agbodza, said she had seen 22 specialist nurses leave for the UK in the last year, and all the critical experienced nurses have gone. Some of those experienced Ghanaian nurses told the media that in the UK they could earn more than 7 times of what they are receiving in Ghana. In 2022, more than 1,200 Ghanaian nurses joined the UK's nursing register. Indian authorities made appeals to families on Tuesday to help identify 83 unclaimed bodies kept in the hospitals and mortuaries after the death toll in the country's deadliest rail crash in over 2 decades. A senior state health department official told the media till Monday evening about 100 bodies were yet identified. Health director of Odisha, BJ Mohapatra, said authorities were trying to source iced containers to help preserve the bodies.
That was international news. Sports news up next. In sports news, the Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, calls on the Ministry of State, President's Office, Regional Administration and Local Government to allocate at least 1 sports officer in every primary and secondary school so as to boost sports in the country. Speaking during the opening ceremony of the Inter-Primary School Games Umite Shumta in Tabora, Dr. Mpango insists that the allocation of sports development officer in primary school will help to develop talents.
Local government authorities, they should make sure that every primary schools have at least 1 sports teacher. That will help to develop sports in schools. Make sports subject taught professionally and consistently. Also, you have to make sure that open space allocated for sports are protected and not used for other projects.
Inter-primary school games start in Tabora, whereby young players from different regions are showcasing their talents in different sports. In other sports news, the Vice President of Tanzania Olympic Committee, Henry Tandao, says that Tanzania will send 2 teams to participate in Beach Athletics Championship in Tunisia. Tandao tells TBC that the competition will be used for world qualification of beach athletics tournaments to be played later this year.
When opportunities come, you have to take it. So when those opportunities arrived, we discussed with the TFF on how we can participate in the competition and accepted it because it is opportunities to players and the nation at large.
Athletes from Tanzania will compete in the tournament, which will start from June 23rd to the 30th of June in Tunisia. That was sports news, and now before we wind up, let us take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
And welcome to the next 24 hours of the forecast, starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadhani Omar. Coastal wind for tomorrow is expected to flow at 40 kilometers per hour over the northern coast, while over southern coast, wind speed is expected to reach 30 kilometers per hour. Over Lake Victoria, also wind speed is expected to reach 30 kilometers per hour. Lake Tanganyika and Nyasa, wind speed is expected to reach 20 kilometers per hour. And the rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over a few areas, especially along the coastal areas. And tonight, a few areas over northeastern highland are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers, while over northern coast and southern coast, we are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain shower over a few areas. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition. And tomorrow, few areas, especially over Dar es Salaam, Pwani, Lindi, and the Mtwara regions are expected to feature cloudy condition, rain showers, and sunny interval. While over Tanga, together with Unguja and Pemba islands, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over few areas, and sun period. Our northeast and highland and the Morogoro region are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over few areas. And the over Kagera, we expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition and sun periods. And now let's have a look on the next 4 days of forecast over some regions of our country.